Welcome back to My Coaching Story. This episode, we get to travel all the way to the UK. Simon Ellson, how are you, Simon?
Good evening, Brad. I'm perfect, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. A beautiful morning here in Las Vegas, a beautiful evening in sunny UK. So,
believe it or not, the sun is actually shining. So
I know you get one weekend of it a year in the UK. It's wonderful. So, buddy, listen, I want to talk about coaching and your story. But before I do, I want to find out, what is it that you enjoy about coaching, or what is it you love about being a business coach?
Great question. I think for me, it's I've always been a bit of charitable is not the right word, but like helping people. Mm-hmm. So the joy of being a coach is really simple. I get to help people and they pay me for it. It's like the most perfect scenario in the world.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, finding somebody who may have a problem or somebody who wants to progress and being able to assist, I think is just it's just a great feeling. I leave every week with a massive smile on my face on a Friday. Yeah,
it's hard to not love what we do, because I love watching the business owners grow and seeing them, become better business people, I guess is probably the simplest term. Is there any of your clients where you feel like that was a great, I've watched them grow, or any that just had blinding flashes that turned around for you, or what, maybe a favorite client story?
How long have we got, Brad?
Give us a shot. Give us a shot.
Yes, there are a few. I think, so I still have so I've been in this 3 years now. So June 2018, my two first clients are both still on board. Mm-hmm. And one of them, the second client I signed, was at about 350 a year turnover. And we're just proposing to sell his business at 2.4 million. So that's a life-changing. Life-changing amount of money for him, life-changing growth. He's only 29. Well, he was 28 when I took him on. He's just over 30 now. So just absolutely mind-blowing to see somebody that young, really smart, but just learn the basics and get everything right has been incredible. And his big challenge was recruitment and retention. And we've got that just about nailed, I think. So he's in a really good spot. But that's the kind of thing that you get enormous pleasure from, clearly.
To you and I, those sort of numbers of growth are just like, oh yeah, that's great. To the average person, that's like, no, I can't possibly fathom that that's an average, I guess it's not average, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you explain to someone that this happens on a weekly basis or a monthly basis with what we do?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've just had a potential client who left here today, having just signed on the dotted line. And they are they're a good business. So they're a steady business. They're a gym. But they're not looking to grow. They were in a bit of a quandary about what to do. They've left inspired by some of the stories of the other clients that we work with. He's gone home. His wife just messaged me to say he's come home with a real spark. And that's what I love. Light the spark and then watch it turn into a flame is just it's just great fun. Great fun.
Well, actually, let's go back a little in your background so people understand what led you to coaching. Take us through your background prior to becoming a coach.
Wow. So I left school at 16.
The short version.
The quick version. Left school at 16, didn't really have any qualifications, just knew I wanted to go to work. I was an apprentice in print and publishing, went into sales, progressed through sales, went into technical, went into marketing, went to work for Apple when I was 30. That was like the pinnacle of my desire, was to get to work for Apple. Since then, I ran a couple of other businesses. So an enormous amount of business experience, starting, selling, raising finance for, and in fact crashing a business pretty spectacularly in 2009 has taught me I just think you couldn't learn it from a book. Honestly, the business experience is enormous. Now, if I then layer on top of that everything that Action Coach has taught me, it's like, wow, BFOs every single day in this business, blinding flashes of the obvious.
It's amazing when you sit back and you look at a career path that leads you to coaching. Yours is almost like the perfect preparation for coaching. All the different areas of business, all the different aspects, different industries, different size. It's like that gives you that breadth of knowledge to be a great mentor, to be a great coach. Yeah. Did you ever have a coach during that period that sort of said, yeah, coaching is a great thing?
No, interestingly, no, but I did have a couple of really great mentors. One in particular that guided me through. I wasn't a marketeer when I started in that role. I was in a technical role, but he took 3 years, guided me through that whole process. And I think the learnings during that time were enormous. How do you get your message out there? How do you capitalize on it, etc. And then again, latterly after Apple, I had another guy who came in as a finance director in my business and was just a really solid guide, if you like, a guiding hand on what we did as we grew that business. So yeah, no coaches officially, but a couple of great mentors in my history.
In what you're doing now, one of the big things that I see from a lot of your clients is you build a great community. Why do you bring the business owners together? What is it about that is important to you?
Yeah, so if I could just take a step back slightly. So when I started, I live in a town, I've lived in this town for 21 years, never worked here. So didn't really know anybody. I had a social network, but nothing else. So my big thing was community. How do I get to be part of the local business community? So we networked ourselves to death. I joined the local radio station. So I present a business show twice a week. That, in all honesty, has been just the coup de grace as far as I'm concerned. Everybody in the town knows who I am. Because I'm on the radio twice a week. So the community now is great. I have an accountant, a solicitor, an employment agency, you name it, people I can bring into my client network to service all of their needs. And that, I think, has been a game changer in terms of our progress as a business over 3 years.
You know, it's interesting when you bring business owner clients together, just watching them. What do you think are the biggest lessons they get with or from each other?
You know, my favorite exercise at Growth Club is to put 4 business owners together and to get them to coach each other. Because it's astonishing. You know, what one person knows and is completely obvious to them, the other one has absolutely no idea about. So they share experiences, they share ideas, they share contacts. And a lot of them, I've got 4 or 5 of them now that are out playing golf and having a beer on a regular basis, which I think is just, you know, again, is just brilliant. Makes the whole experience for me really, really engaging.
Yeah. And let's flip that around. Part of the Action Coach community, where you play a pivotal role as being part of that community. What's been the advantages, or what's been the learnings from that community for you?
I don't want to sound like you paid me prior to this, Brad.
Well, actually, you paid me, to be technically honest. So when you became my franchise partner, I mean, you invested to be in part of this business. Yeah. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I've worked in a couple of large corporates. I was almost 4 years at Apple, almost 4 years at Symantec. I have never been in a community like we have an Action Coach. The ability to talk to, well, in the UK, one of 250 coaches to get perspective on a problem or a challenge, or to share an issue, it is just incredible. The training that's given, the support from the MLs in the UK and from Action Coach globally is beyond anything I've ever experienced. In a corporate, it's all about competition, whether you know it or not. Everybody's competing. In this world, it's not about a competition. It's just about helping everybody else to do the best that they can do and to be the best person they can be, I think.
I do love the fact that we have a community of 1,000+ people that love helping other people. It makes it pretty dang easy to find someone who wants to help you. So when you think about, your first joining Action Coach, when you made that investment, if we go back to that just for a second, you invested in a system with us to be able to be better at helping business people. What went through your mind in making that choice for you?
That's a great question. I think looking back over my history, we didn't do all the dirt on my history, Brad, but a few questionable decisions in there, things that now that I know the way that a business should run or could run, I would never have made those decisions. I think it's that piece of it really is the wanting to be better. I love a target. I love a goal. I love to be able to achieve more. And that's really been the story of my life. Start another business because I want to do something else. Go work somewhere else because I want to do something else. You can't be bored in this job because every day is different. Every client's different. Every problem is different. Every opportunity is different. And I think all of that wrapped together just makes it one of the most fun. My wife says I work for a cult.
It feels that way, but a cult by definition is a group of people with a culture different to the norm of society. Our culture statement is very clear. It's up on our website. It's 14 points. Here's who we are. Because I think who we are and why we do what we do is more important than what we do. And I think our business owner clients get that. When they come to us, they feel part of a tribe. They feel like, I'm not alone anymore. I'm not out there on my own. I guess that's probably the simplest way to put it.
Yeah, and just going back to your previous question, I think I think I recognized that when I had my own businesses, but I don't think I recognized the benefit of having somebody else to lean on, somebody else to share problems with. And if I had to take away one thing from, I mean, I'm currently working with, well, the 20th today, after day, 20 clients. Any more than that is a bit of a stretch, to be perfectly honest. The one thing I can tell you that the vast majority want is they want somebody to share their problems with. Oh my God, this happened this week. You know, what do you think? How can I do this? How can I do that? Yeah, brilliant.
100%. I see that all the time, that we, you know, we help them find a community and help them find their group, I guess. And as you said, some of them become friends. So what's the future then for you in your coaching business? Because obviously there's a lot more clients to help, a lot more business owners that need the assistance. Where's the future for you and your team?
So so I started as an individual licensee in 2018. I bought my first territory in 2019, bought the second one in 2021. A third one potentially next year. But right now we are a team of 6 servicing 2 territories. On the lookout for a general manager for one of those territories. So for me right now, it's all about growth. So I have a plan, which is 5 million, 5 coaches in each territory, 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, you're like every other business owner. You have your plan, you got to do your marketing, build your team, build your sales, and so on. But the fact that we get to help business owners is, I guess, probably one of the bonus aspects of what we do. Speaking of that, you've done a lot, especially during COVID, for your community. Tell me a bit more about why you give back so much to your community and what that means, or why that happens in your organization.
Yeah, some of that reflects back on, you know, challenges that I had when I was a business owner. Again, feeling a bit alone when we had a bit of a problem with one or two of the businesses. And so, when COVID started, the first thing we did was we rolled out a whole series of free coaching sessions. So just half an hour, put together a bit of a plan, help people through the process, and we ran that. We did over 200 of those during the first 6 months of COVID. And in fact, half a dozen of those turned into long-term clients, interestingly, because they liked what they heard. So we also coach a couple of charities locally. I think the ability to not only help those people who can pay for it, but to help those people who can't, I think is the other piece of this. So there's always pro bono work going on. Both of my coaches do exactly the same as I do and service various people just because we can. I think that's the point. And that's what life's all about, really, isn't it? Learn something, give something back, and shoot for your goals is really the 3 things that I've kind of operated on forever.
Yeah. I sit back and I look at those business owners that are so tiny or just in the beginning or struggling to a point of, and like, if I can in 1 hour just give them some free stuff and help them move forward, you know, maybe one day they'll refer a friend to me, or maybe one day, you know, that thing I think is really important. If you were to look at the last few years of being a coach and helping business owners, what do you think's been the biggest growth factor in you? Because you're obviously a great business person before. What's your biggest growth factor?
I think my ability to not to focus, but to probably internally rationalize all the stuff that we do and keep myself on track. I've never been particularly good at that. I guess, as I said earlier on, I've been a case of, do this, move on, do that, move on, never look backwards. But I do take a lot of time now to reflect over what I do. I'm not into journaling necessarily, but I do have a set of IVVMs I use on a regular basis to kind of push myself forwards. And I think I'm a better human being today than I was 3 years ago, without a shadow of a doubt.
It's hard not to grow when what you're doing every day is helping others grow. I think that's probably the biggest aspect of it. So if you were to look at the community you've built, what's the next phase of growth for you then with the community, with the your local market and your, I guess, your client community as well?
So we're planning on starting our own Action Coach networking group locally to bring business owners together and help them to develop rather more than they do with traditional networking, shall we say. I think that's really, really important. I've got 2 coaches on board, both of them are relatively new, one 6 months, one 9 months. So developing those guys, helping them to help more people. And then there's a couple more coaches in the pipeline for later in 2021. So I'd like to get to 1,000 business owners in the territory helped in the first 5 years of business. We've got 2 years to go. We're about 70 so far, there or thereabouts. So,
well, Simon, on reading all of the things that your clients are saying about you and the team, you're doing some amazing stuff. I'm really proud of everything that you guys are doing out there. And I want to thank you for representing Action Coach, and really on behalf of those business owner clients, thank you for dedicating yourself and your time to helping people grow their business. And thanks for giving us your time here on My Coaching Story. Really appreciate it.
it's a pleasure. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate all the time and energy you put into it as well. Great to see you.
Thanks, buddy.